Friday co-host, Keith McCants of the former University of Alabama and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we have a special guest today, 727-587-1040 if you'd like to join the conversation. We have a actor, and he is a thoughtful actor. He's been in the adult film industry, but he also helps, and one of my big causes is the ethical treatment of animals, and he's been a big supporter of PETA, and he's a musician.
Hello there.
So, Ron Jeremy, welcome to...
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Fine. How you doing, Ron?
And is this all right?
All right. Hey, Ron, I'm just keep McCants calling.
I know I could cheer you up with a little harmonica. Okay, there you go.
Well, thank you. That made our day. Now,
if I had a piano, I could play that too, and violin.
Well,
so what's happening?
Well, you know, you are really an interesting. I'm going to turn it back to Keith, but you're really an interesting guy. You're from Queens.
Can you speak a little bit louder? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're really an interesting fella. You're from Queens. Your father was a physicist, so he's a scientist. Your mother was a book editor who was in what was then the OSS and CIA. How did you...
Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
All right.
I don't know why I keep running this. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
We're with Ron Jeremy getting the technical. He is joining us from California.
Okay, here you go. Okay. All right, what were we saying? I'm sorry.
So you're kind of an interesting fella. You got into... Your parents were really well educated. Your mother was in the OSS, and they spoke multiple languages. How did you... And you were going to be a teacher, right?
Yes, I was for about a year and a half. I was a school teacher. Then I took my a master's in special ed.
Oh, okay.
I was teaching... Yeah, I did it so many years ago, 1978, or 1977. I didn't even use the word autism. What's it? They call it childhood schizophrenia.
Wow.
Shows you how far back I was doing it, you know.
And then you so how did you transition to that? Because you wanted to be on Broadway, I heard, or you were on Broadway.
Well, I did. I was off Broadway, and I did some good plays. You know, at Cafe La Mama Theater with a dramatist person. You know, a bunch of really popular Second Street Theater. Theater Delise. These are all like memories. I did like, you know, I got to the Equity Union, Stage Union. A lot of California actors are not in the Stage Union or Equity. Half of them can't even pronounce Equity. No, I'm kidding. So then I went to California and did both adult movies and regular movies.
So how did you transition to the adult industry? That just seemed... Your whole background doesn't seem... You're a smart guy. You're well educated.
Thank you.
You're not what you would expect.
What happened was I was doing, you know, theater in New York, and the job market was horrible. I quit teaching to pursue theater, and I don't really sing and dance. And Broadway is, I think, best served with singing and dancing. I did a little. I did an off-Broadway version of Jesus Christ Superstar. You know?
Wow.
So, if you are the Christ, you are the great Jesus Christ. Prove to me that you're no fool, walk across my swimming pool. Well, you get the idea anyway. So I did that. And then I went to L.A., and I did the adult movies because it was so hard to get a job. You know?
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the same directors who were doing adult are doing regular. Some very big ones. I don't want to mention names, because it may piss off Wes Craven and relatives of John Allen. I mean, some very well-known directors who went on to really good careers, huge careers in some of them. You know, they would use you if they liked your work.
Right.
Doing the adult stuff. They said, "Look, you did good by me. I'm going to put you in a regular one I'm doing," and they would elevate with you, and it was great. Chuck Vincent was very loyal. Anthony Spinelli. These are guys, you know, who were doing regular films and adult. Because remember, back then it was feature film. You know, it wasn't video, DVD, VHS, virtual reality, internet. It was just film, 16 to 35 millimeter. That's it. You know.
Wow, we've come a long way.
So if they liked your work, they would take you with them, and it was a nice kind of little loyalty, you know.
So did you Now, do you still act at all?
Yes, all the time. I just got 2 films coming out. One's called Lady Killer with Rutger Hauer, and one's called Sunset Society, starring Lemmy from Motorhead, and Dizzy from Guns N' Roses, Steve-O from Jackass, me. You know, it's about vampires living at the Sunset Strip.
Oh.
So that one came out, and then Sorority Sex Sweetheart, something kind of. I forgot the name they're using for that, but Sorority Sex Kittens. It's a good horror film. I did a really fun horror movie called One-Eyed Monster, which is hysterical.
Oh, really?
It's got Amber Benson in it. She stars in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Charles Napier, a very well-known actor, he's in it. I play the severed penis who goes out and kills people.
Oh, no.
Really funny.
Wow.
Oh, it is hysterically funny. The funniest scene is when this girl is in her bungalow, and she sees this monster tear through her head, you know, and kill her. And she goes flying into the next bungalow where a bunch of guys are playing poker. She goes, guys, Dana has a dick in her mouth. And the guys are like, okay, I got spades. What do you got? Okay, and they kept playing like nothing's
Oh, my
wrong.
God.
You
So
know?
they just ignored the whole
It's
thing.
so funny. And then she goes, it's not attached to anything. And they go, what? And they go to the next bungalow and they see she's pretty severed, you know. So
Oh, no.
there's a lot of funny things, and it's a nonstop laugh. One, can I hit you one more? You know, whenever someone does a dying scene, like when Jim Carrey does a dying scene, he grabs a collar and, remember that time we raced the Formula 500, or remember when we climbed Mount Vesuvius? You know, you always want to mention your accomplishments as you're ready to die, right?
Right.
So the filmmakers had me go, remember that time I had sex with that girl and I died? which makes no sense, me saying that, you know.
No.
But they just put a lot of quirky stuff in there, you know.
Well, now, from your non-adult films, you're a pretty decent actor. A lot of people.
Well, thank you.
Why don't you do, like, I would love to see you on Broadway.
Me too. Henry Winkler played kinda played me on Broadway. And they say he looked like me, and he had the name Ron or something, you know.
Wow. Hey, Ron.
Well, Keith, take it away.
But, I did a couple of cult films that were really popular, like Detroit Rock City, the Kiss film, with Eddie Furlong.
Mm-hmm.
Boondock Saints, huge film. Yeah, you ever hear of it?
Oh, yeah. I do all those things, yeah. I watch it all the time. Hey, Ron, let me ask
John
you.
Romita is in that, and he put another reviving to that. The film's doing a whole new sector because of like Living Dead, or the film that Norman's in. And then also Orgasmo, the South Park Boys, you know.
Wow.
And Trey Parker, my son. And what most people don't realize, and Trey mentions it on the extra scenes, that I was kind of like the original Kenny. Remember, Kenny dies and comes back?
Right.
Because we do a karate scene, a really good martial arts scene, me and Trey Parker. And so he shoots me with a gun, I die, you know, my head blows up, and I show up for breakfast the next morning. And I said, Trey, my head blew up last night. Do I just walk to breakfast with a Band-Aid? Is that it? And he's going, Ronnie, you just don't get how we work. Eventually I realized that they're very quirky.
Well, we have Ron Jeremy on it, and Keith had a quick question for you.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you this. Tell us about being on the Wheel of Fortune, and tell us about Gene Simmons.
And the second thing?
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
I did it was funny. I was on Wheel of Fortune before I ever got into the industry. I went to California, and I won on Peter Rabbit. I lost on By the Light of the Silvery Moon. Never forgot that. So I got 2 barbecues, 2 trips, one trip to Mexico, Mazatlan.
So you were pretty good in the show.
Oh, I did good. I won one, and this lady won one, you know. And so I went to Mexico for a vacation from Wheel of Fortune. Chuck Woolery was doing it at the time, you know. And what's funny is that I had to give up half the trip because Madeline Chambers had asked to work with me for a layout in a book. and it was a beautiful layout with different positions. And here I am, a new kid coming out of New York to work with Marilyn Chambers, the Ivory Soap Girl. I said, this is great. So I did it. And so I lost half my trip to Mexico, but it was worth it.
Oh,
Right. So you're friends with Stormy Daniels. What does she have to say about Donald Trump? Have
She
you ever
directed
spoken
me.
about her?
I met Donald Trump twice. In fact, they did a very cute little story about it, the New York Post. And then Donald Trump commented, which I thought was great, and said, like, is he big? Is he not big? Because they asked me, they saw me shake his hand. The New York Post, page 6, and
Oh, wow.
I said, yeah, he's got the same size hand as me, so he must be packing.
Oh.
And then somehow he got to the Post and said that he has soft hands. He doesn't know if they're big or little, but they're soft. That was pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
And then a very weird story. In fact, this is kind of, I guess, a little bit of an exclusive for you. Donald Trump had a right-hand man whose name was Mark Edis. Mark Edis was my boss in the Catskill Mountains. I was at Woodstock for half an hour. I was, Monticello, Liberty, the whole area there. I was there for half an hour. I saw Jefferson Airplane, Grace Slicks, saying good morning, people, and had to go and serve lunch. It was a big thing back in the days of the Catskills in the 1960s, 70s. That a lot of Jewish boys would work up in the Catskills as waiters and busboys and bellhops and all that stuff. And it was a big colony for Jews who were at the Holocaust, who had burn marks on their arms, but they were now getting fresh air, and they go up on the weekends in the summertime to refresh, and it worked. They got healthy. So a lot of us were waiters, back then,
Okay.
So that's where you
And then,
developed the personality to be friendly and engage people.
Well, thank you. Well, there was a lot of the comedians. Lenny got started. Lenny Bruce, Jackie Mason, Jackie Gale, Dom DeLuise. Just on. And a lot of the singers got started in the Italian Catskills, they called it, But the thing is, oh boy, I forgot darn it, I haven't talked about it in so long. But the Catskills, a lot of the guys would work up there, then go back, home to New York. They go back up to the Catskills again, weeks later, And I have definitely had no sleep. I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, do you think that being Jewish and having the Holocaust experience for people you knew and your family made you be more funny?
Most Jews had family that were there. And when I was serving a lot of the guests up in the Catskills at hotels like Grossinger's, Concord, The Pines, Raleigh, Jenks, Paramount, Kutcher's, all these hotels, would have big clientele, and a lot of that clientele were Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
So they were up there, and then I forgot why I was telling you about this. It's so weird.
We have Ron Jeremy on the way, but anybody who's just joined us, and Keith had a quick question.
I was asleep, but I was working on. Hopefully, I'll catch it. I was working on a point.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you this question. You was on Surreal Life and became friends with Tammy Faye Baker. You're very different people, and how did y'all friendship form?
She was a doll. She was a little honey bunny. I was on that show, The Surreal Life, and I'm the guy that put Tammy Faye together on the telephone with Jessica Hahn.
What?
Is that great?
Wow.
Yeah, they finally, they spoke on the phone. Jessica started crying and said that she wishes she was her mom, and then Tammy said prayers over her and for her. It was amazing. And the only place you're gonna, see or hear that is my book. There's a plug for you.
Oh yeah, what's your book? Tell us your book.
I did a book for HarperCollins. It was a New York Times bestseller.
What's the name of it?
I just remember what it was. Here we go. So, in the Catskills, one of the most popular hotels was the Grossingers.
Right.
Grossingers had that Grossinger's bread. Jenny Grossinger was the owner. She married her daughter, Elaine Edis, married. I forgot his name, but it was Edis. Mark Edis ran Grossinger's. The Catskills did not come. The gambling didn't come. It was supposed to. They were counting on it. The town voted it out. They didn't want an element there, so all the hotels up there closed and went out of business. There's a great website that says Catskills, a Paradise Lost. And they mentioned that me, I was a waiter at Maitre D. Andrew Dice Clay was a drummer up in the Catskills. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, Andrew Dice Clay.
Yes, anyway, so Mark Edis, ran the hotel, and it was a huge hotel and a very popular one, a grossingest hotel. Now, the gambling didn't come. Every hotel went out of business. They just lasted to play golf. Some of them kept their golf courses upstate New York. But other than that, the Catskills were gradually dying.
And we found your book.
You think that Woodstock didn't really save it because Woodstock was 1969.
Right. And your book in
Here's what happens now. Donald Trump took Mark Edis as his main guy, right?
Right.
You're not going to believe this story.
No.
He took Mark Edis to be his general manager of Grossinger's Hotel, right? And I'm sorry, of Trump Towers in Atlantic City. He was leaving, the Catskills, because there was nothing there anymore. He worked for Donald Trump. Isn't that great?
That is great. And your book is...
And I knew him, and he was my boss. I used to wear a long-haired wig and put it in a short hair or wig and walk around clean cut, and I actually had long hair. And Mark Edis found out and said, if my parents find out, you're fired. I think it's cool, so
that you had
I was the only
hair?
guy working in the dining room with long hair curled into a cap, a flesh cap, right? So, so now I'm going to go say hi to Mark Edis. Haven't seen him in 10 goddamn years, And we're going to go see Frank Stallone sing at one of the hotels in Atlantic City, right? Forgot which one. It was a Trump Tower of some sort. And it was me, Chiro from Chiro's Restaurant, Joey Buttafuoco, Al Goldstein, Sam Kennison, and I think Larry Flint came with us, all to see Frank Stallone sing, right? So I called us the not the Rat Pack, the Slime Pack,
Wow.
Well,
So now we're going to go say hi to my buddy Mark Edis, who was the general manager of Gross. He goes down. He's the manager of the Atlantic City, working for Donald Trump. Do you remember? So now I go over to I go to the desk. You following?
Right.
I go to the desk, and me and again Stallone and a bunch of Frank Stallone, we're all hanging out there to meet my buddy who runs the hotel. So I said to the lady behind the desk, I gotta say hi to Mark Edis. They had an auditorium dedicated to him, called the Mark Edis Auditorium. Imagine if he was president's assistant, though. Who knows what he could have done,
Right.
He was running, the Trump Tower. So anyway, I said to the lady at the desk, if Mark Edis around, I see he's got an auditorium with his name on it. When he sees me, he's going to die. Those are my exact words, because he would. I was his old, waiter and maitre d' back 10 years ago, You follow so far?
Right.
Yeah.
So she says, he'll die when he sees you. She goes, sir, I don't know how to tell you this, but he already did. I said, what? What? Now, of course, Sam Kennison made a few jokes because he thought that was pretty bizarre. But I said, are you kidding me? She goes, he passed away in that famous helicopter disaster. Do you remember that? When there was a big story when Donald Trump lost about 5 executives from a bad helicopter, and he was going to use different brand of helicopters because he lost those workers. You remember that?
I do. Now, your stories are so wonderful. I know you're busy and you're giving us some of your... Do you have another 10 minutes you can hold on, or do you need to break?
Yeah, but that was the story. So it's bizarre. He was in that helicopter, so he had an entire career ahead of him, and he never got to realize it. He died from the helicopters, and then we dedicated Frank Stallone's set, to Mark Edis. May he rest in peace. And then when I saw Donald Trump backstage at the Jimmy Kimmel show,
oh wow,
I was hanging out with Shooter Jennings, Waylon Jennings' kid.
Right.
I play with him once in a while. We'll do a gig somewhere
We need to
together.
get you down here for. Do you golf?
No. But so I saw Donald Trump,
I'm gonna get.
and that's since I had
I'm
taken
gonna ask you to hold that. We got to take a quick break to pay for the show,
sure.
and we have Ron Jeremy, more than just an actor, on, and we'll be right back after these important breaks.
And we kicking this live. Check it out, boys. It goes something like this. Just in case you didn't know, yes, my name is Polo. I'm getting trimmed like a barber son after every show. So bring them one by one. Check it out. Once again, right here live. Straight from New York. DJ Polo, my homeboy Ron Jeremy. Yeah. And we kicking this live.
We are
Check it
back
out,
with Ron
boys.
Jeremy. This is Barry Edwards and Keith McCants on all things football and celebrity, and we are joined by a great actor, somebody who's in the Guinness Book of World Records. I've never met anybody else who's in the Guinness Book of World Records, so that's kind of a pleasure. I heard that you make a liquor or some sort of a Ron Jeremy rum. Is that true? Do you have your own liquor brand or whatever? Ron?
Yeah.
Do you make your own rum? Have your own liquor brand?
Say it again.
Do you make your own liquor? I heard you have a Ron Jeremy brand.
It's a rum. Yeah. Hey, just to finish that last thing, this is the last sentence left.
Yeah.
Is that when I met Donald Trump at the backstage at Jimmy Kimmel, I said to him, I worked for Mark Edis. He says, you're kidding me. No. He goes, you worked at Grossingers? I said, yeah. I was at Grossingers for many, many years. They had sailing, horseback riding. It was just a great resort. Gone. But Donald knew it really well because he got Mark from that hotel, you know.
Is that where you met
That's
him
right.
and told him about his hands?
Okay, so what was saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, so is that where you met Donald Trump and talked to him about his soft hands?
Say what?
His hands. Is that where you talked to him about Donald Trump's hands?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What?
So Mark Edis was your friend, too?
Yes. Well, he was my boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the
Mark
boss.
Edis and Paul Grossinger were the two owners of the Grossingers Hotel. It's the most popular hotel up in the Catskill Mountains.
And that's no longer there?
And then Donald Trump took Mark Edis to work for him when Grossingers shut down.
Oh, that's too bad. Now, before I turn it back to Keith, I heard that you've lectured at Oxford University. Is that true?
I lectured there, yeah. I also lectured at Trinity College.
And,
I'll tell you what's weird also. I lectured at Trinity College. I lectured at Oxford, and the lady was there just for me. She put on a good show, and her name is Buddha Benazar Buddha. And I did a lecture, and her bodyguards came over and said I did a nice job. It was a lecture on freedom of speech, taping, all kinds of stuff, right? And the lady I spoke to, who, you know, sent me nice wishes, got assassinated a couple of weeks later. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
She was a America-backed Musharraf in Pakistan. Benazir Buddha was trying to take over, and not only did she not take over, she died.
Oh,
and
wow.
I actually got a chance to look at her and smile. You know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So you're a big freedom
They
of
say
speech.
she was going to. They said she was not going to survive.
So you're a big freedom of speech person.
Louder, I'm sorry.
You're a big freedom of speech advocate.
Say it one more time.
You're a freedom of speech advocate.
Wait, let me fix my... Okay, say it one more time.
You're a big freedom of speech advocate.
Well, anybody in our industry has to be, really, because, you know, that's how we survive. You know, and it's fair because it is a matter of freedom of speech, you know. You know, as they say, that people don't like it. Watch Gilligan's Island reruns. It's okay with me.
Hey, Ron, tell us about the rap song Freak of the Week and how did that come about?
The what?
The rap song Freak of the Week.
Oh, the rap song?
Yeah, how did that come
Did
about?
you guys see it on the YouTube?
Yes.
You know, I have the world's record for the most music videos in history.
Really?
I've done
Oh, yeah?
56 music videos.
Wow. We didn't know
I
that.
also have a best-selling book. I did a rap song that was also in the top 10 for 27 weeks. It was called Freak of the Week with DJ Polo, Ice-T, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Grandpa Munster, Lynn Redgrave, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Lenny from Motorhead.
Really?
And then the next one we did called Going Down at the Bunny Ranch, we had Rick James come down and do a little performance. That was the last thing he did before he passed away. The Funk Meister, yeah.
Now I'm getting a little nervous. Everybody you get that does a project with you dies right after that.
I know it.
No, I didn't do this one. In all fairness, he was warned by his doctors, don't do any drugs. You know, you're wearing a pacemaker. Don't do any drugs. I'm not going to comment as to what Rick James did or did not do, but, you know, it's a far cry away from anything I do, so I'm so straight it's embarrassing.
Now, that's good. Well, you look like you're healthy for a 65-year-old or 66. Now, Grandpa Munster, is that the Grandpa Munster from the Munsters?
Yes.
And that,
Al Lewis is he's in my song Freak of the Week. He also traveled with me twice to the Miss Nude North America pageant.
That was Miss Nude North America pageant?
Wow.
Yeah, it's every year, third Sunday in July at the Miss Nude North America at the Ponderosa Sun Club.
Now, where is that at?
Roseland, Indiana, about an hour out of Chicago.
Oh. Well, we
A lot
need
of fun.
to go to that.
About 5,000 people in
Yeah,
the
we
audience,
do.
100
Really?
girls competing.
Now, how does one become a judge for that?
What?
How does one become a judge for that?
Come on down. If you have
Yeah.
a girl who wants to enter the competition, come on down.
All
Want
right.
to see the show? Come on down.
Now, will you be there next year?
I'm there every year. I haven't missed one, and this is no joke. For 35 years,
Wow, we could be a
I've
special
hosted the
guest.
show. Yeah, we got Scarlett, who runs the show. She's the owner, and we have Batman, Tony Batman, who also helps. We used to have Mancow from the Mancow in the morning. He used to
Oh,
promote
yeah.
the show, so it's been a pretty much set thing every year.
So, what are you most proud of in your whole career that you've done?
Hit single. I did a hit single for a guy who can't rap worth the beans. There's a lot of stuff I'm really proud of. This is actually really nice. I got to say Happy New Year to 250 million people on the Anderson Cooper show with Kathy Griffin.
Oh,
She
wow.
invited me on the show. Because she was doing the show back then before she had her problems.
Right.
And I played harmonica. I played Old Lang Syne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
And what year was this?
Yeah. What?
What year was that?
Say what?
What year was that?
About 5 years ago.
Wow.
And it was a nice honor. It was a nice honor to say Happy New Year to 250 million people.
That is
Wow.
so at least 250 million people in the world have seen
That a lot of people saw that too. But I did another video that was actually huge. It was another 250 million, and that was Sexy and I Know It. Sexy and I Know It. These guys, LMFAO, won a Grammy for Best Dancing and another song. I was in 3 spots. You see me dancing in the video. A lot of publicity on that one. You know?
Now you look like you're a talented
Sublime
actor.
was huge too. Sublime put me in that song. I produced their video. I'm in it. I play 2 characters, and then Bradley, the late great Bradley, he gave that lyric, "Mucho gusto, so llamo Bradley. I'm hornier than Ron Jeremy."
We are
A lot of
joined
people
by
heard
Ron
that.
Jeremy, by the way, from California. If anybody just tuned
Tommy
in.
Lee put me in a song. Methods of Man. $99 million later, like I'm up on a tape. I'm bigger than Ron Jeremy.
Wow.
So I've had my share of pop culture.
Well, you are part of the pop culture in America.
Yeah.
Now, how long? Now, I saw Bryan Cranston last year on Broadway, and he did Network. What about you coming and doing something like that on Broadway? Because you'd
never
obviously
know.
be a big draw.
Yeah, but please don't be mad with me. I gotta get going. So I got booked for a few things.
All right. Well, we have been joined by Ron Jeremy. We greatly appreciate you taking your Friday afternoon with us. Keith says bye, and we look forward to seeing you at the Nude Miss America next year.
That's right.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ron Jeremy.
Check my Twitter.
And what's your Twitter
Dante,
handle?
great comedian. He runs it. It's the real Ron Jeremy on Twitter.
The
And
real
usually
Ron
will
Jeremy.
say where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing. You know.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ron Jeremy. We are been honored, and it's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And have a great Friday.
Hey, thanks, man. You guys are great. Thank you.
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you, man.
So, Keith,
Yes.
we just had Ron Jeremy on. Everybody just thinks of him as a adult actor, but he's been in all these music videos. He's been on Anderson Cooper for CNN for the New Year's Eve celebration. So obviously he's more than just an adult actor.
Yeah, he is. He's very talented as well, and he has done so many different things and met so many different people, and he got great stories.
No, he has great stories. And the Catskills, I mean, my parents come from New York, and and I love stuff from the 40s and the 50s, but we don't even think about that. But it's interesting how he tried to go to California, get in the movie industry. And obviously, one of his directors, I guess, was Wes Craven, who we know from the Halloween and these horror flicks, did an adult film with him and then put him in a regular film. So a lot of actors, I guess, did that, but he happened to be just extraordinarily good at the adult film industry and stayed around and did 2,100 films.
Wow.
But Guns N' Roses, I had no idea that he'd been in music videos with Sublime, Insane Clown, Kid Rock. Guns N' Roses. I mean, so he has a much broader portfolio than I think most people think. Plus his own, which you told me you liked, Freak of the Week.
Yeah, it is, man. This guy's something special.
And he's obviously a storyteller, which I guess is what great actors have to be great storytellers.
I know it. Yeah, I know it. And he wrote a book, and got rum, a blend of rum behind his name. He's doing quite well for himself.
Now, I think it was funny about that he had worked for Mark Edis, who went to work for Donald Trump, and that they set the president up with him before he was president. And the President Trump, remember, during the campaign, Marco Rubio made some implications about the manhood of Donald Trump and his prowess in the bed, and that's where politics doesn't need to decay to that. And obviously, Marco Rubio, as they say, when you get down in the mud with a pig, you get dirty, and the pig likes it. And it didn't work out too well for Marco Rubio, but Ron Jeremy said when he met Donald Trump, he told us the story, how your hands are the same size as mine, you must really be packing.
Yeah, I know it.
And then Donald Trump sends him a tweet, but my hands are soft.
Well, I wonder what that meant.
So, and I don't know, but it shows you that at the end of the day, whether you're president, whether you're a billionaire, whether you're an adult movie star, whatever, everybody's just a person.
That's all.
And he was just trying to make a living.
Yeah, he actually went into the porn movie because he couldn't find work, and because he did so well and was well endowed, he opened up doors for him. Wow.
And so he not only has the world record for that, but a world record apparently for music videos with all these other stars, because he is part of the American pop culture. And he's been active since 1979. So I mean, it is pretty. And the number of people that, just because of the fame, Tammy Faye Baker. I mean, remember from the former evangelist wife, who kind of had the whole defrocking in the late 80s, early 90s. So it just shows you that he's been able to come into contact with a lot of people and bring people together. So he's not the shallow creature that a lot of people might think that an adult movie entertainer is. He had a lot of depth. And as we talked about, he came from a family of well-educated people. His father was a physicist, had a PhD in physics and taught. And his mother was a book editor who also served in the OSS, which was the precursor, that was Office of Strategic Service. That was the precursor of the CIA for the United States during World War II. He's a bright guy, and he was a teacher. Yeah. And he happened to make more money not being a teacher, which is why Ron DeSantis, another Ron, is doing the right thing about raising those teacher salaries by $10,000.
Oh, yeah.
So people don't have to make choices they don't want to make.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I always wanted to turn down going to the University of Alabama, by the way, to play football, because it just weren't good enough. So someday in some life, I hope to have that opportunity where I can say no to Bear Bryant in another parallel universe. But we just we've had fun. We had Ron Jeremy for 3 segments, talk about what it was like to be Ron Jeremy. And I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to come back after a quick break.
And we'll talk about Deion Sanders being a head coach at Florida State.
And I think Deion is one of your
it's
buddies,
one of my
right?
friends. Yeah, he is one of my longtime friends.
But he's not as big as you.
No, he's not. He played cornerback and wide receiver.
But he's pretty tough.
Oh, yeah. He's tough as nails.
Barry Edwards, Keith McCants, back after this important announcement. Welcome back. Barry Edwards, Keith McCants. Hear it now, 727-587-1040. That's 727-587-1040. Hear it on the AM dial, 820 FM, 96.7, 98.3, or newstalkflorida.com to stream it live. We just enjoyed a kind of a special treat. Ron Jeremy, the famous adult movie actor, and there was a lot more to him than his adult films. If you notice, he didn't really want to talk about that much. He talked about growing up, the Catskills, meeting Donald Trump, the music videos, other things that he did. So I thought that was kind of interesting, didn't you, Keith?
I thought it very interesting. There's more to him just being a porn star.
Right.
And there's a lot more to him being a porn star and what he have achieved and accomplished and the people he met and bringing people together. This guy was a God sent in some people's lives.
And I think that for everybody we meet in life, instead of making shallow snap judgments, there's more to them than their job or their title or what may necessarily meet the eye. We don't know the whole way to where they got to that point. But we do know that did you play football against Deion?
Oh, yes, I did.
So did you ever tackle him?
Yes, I did.
Did you hurt him?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so Deion Sanders. So we have a personal commitment here. So there's rumors that FSU is considering making him the head coach. He's famous, one of the great athletes of all time. The best wide receiver to me that FSU ever produced was, I think wasn't it Freddie Balintikoff? Remember him for the Oakland Raiders?
Yes.
Now he's a little older, but they used to put stickum stuff all over.
And they outlawed that.
Oh, they outlawed it.
Yes.
Okay, but Deion's smart. He played baseball and football. He played defense and offense, but he's never been a coach.
No, he never coached. And I think if Deion was serious about taking his job, if I was Deion, what I would do, I was going to hire Nate Newton, that played for the Dallas Cowboys, Eric Williams, and go ask Emmitt Smith for a favor to come out and help out with him. All his stacked Super Bowl teams, and they would be great recruiters. They would get the top of the line in the country, and he could turn the program around. But a head coach's job is to surround yourself by great coaches.
So what's his strength? We don't know what his strength is. Okay, to be a great football coach in college,
you have to be a great motivator.
Okay, you have to motivate the players. You have to be a recruiter.
Yeah, and motivate the coaches and the players to play better than what they really are. And Deion got a mouth of the South, and he can do that.
So I think that's a compliment if you're listening, Deion. We need to get you on the show here. So but he kind of, to me, what his phenomenal athlete, but his great distraction was that he didn't seem to be a team guy. He seemed to be a Deion Sanders guy. How is he going to translate that to being a coach, which you need a team?
Well, I think he had learned things throughout his career and how important team is. And what he brought to the team was enthusiasm and ticket sales and prime. That's why they call him prime time. People paid just to come see this guy to show off, and then people mocked him throughout college and high school, and they want to be a Deion Sanders. And I think anybody could, if he was to take this coaching job, he could steer kids in the right directions.
Now, would he be? Now, if you're, nobody ever came to recruit me to play college football, so I didn't have this experience. But if he showed up and you're 18 because of his famed career, is that helpful?
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it. They'll sign with him on the drop of a dime.
Now, he went to Florida State when I was there. I was in the student government side, not the athletic side. Met him a few times. He seemed pretty sharp. He did have a big mouth, though, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. he was quiet until he got on the field. You know what I'm saying? And then he did a little rap song with MC Hammer and stuff like that. We hung out occasionally. Me and Deion Sanders, Barry, Broderick Thomas, Derek Thomas, Neil Smith. We all hung out together. We was kind of boys.
So, Florida State has just paid $18 million to get rid of Willie Taggart. So the boosters just came up with a lot of money. There's 3 games, I guess, left for them. If they win 2 more, they're 4-5 now. When would he he wouldn't take over until the end of the season, right?
Right. At the end of the season, he'll take over, come in, and come in with a whole new staff. And
now, how long does it take to turn around? And I don't know if you know enough about FSU's program. Do they have good athletes there, or is it going to take 4 years?
They have exceptional athletes.
So they do.
Yes, they do. And but when Deion come in there and started recruiting and things of that nature, just about him taking a job, kids across the country would jump on the bandwagon.
Really?
Oh yeah, they would jump up there. He won't have no problem recruiting. And like I say, if he go out there and say, "Hey, E.M.S. Smith, I need you to be my running back coach. Michael Irvin, I need you to be my wide receiver coach. Nate New, I need you to be my offensive line coach." He get all these Pro Bowlers that they have played with that come coach with him. Man, hands down, they'll probably be national champions the next 3-4 years.
Wow. So you think so you're actually advocating that FSU and the president up there, John Thrasher, hire him?
Yeah. I think they should. Whether he had coaching experience or not, he got enough playing ability to know how to coach. And when you're playing in the NFL, you become a player's coach. You become somewhat of a coach yourself, studying the playbooks and stuff of that nature. The thing is, putting in 80, 90 hours a week. That's a whole different ball game as a head coach.
The head coaches of college teams, so they're working
round the clock. Even in the off season, they work round the clock, 80, 90 hours a week.
Really?
Yes. That's why there's so many divorces, things of that nature happen throughout the
What did you watch the game film? Do you just watch it multiple times?
Yeah, you're watching game film. You're breaking down the last 3 game films. You're looking at the different techniques. You're looking at putting plays together and stuff of that nature. And then what's the best play going against this? And you look at the last year game film and what they did, or the coordinator the offensive coordinator, what he did, and then you got defense coordinator making the necessary adjustment to go against the plays that have been ran that they were successful on how to come up and stop it. It's the X's and O's.
Wow. So there is. I thought that all the possible plays would be done by then. Well, this has been a fun Friday. We had Ron Jeremy, Keith McCants, and we're going to challenge Keith to get a hold of Dion and say, are you going to come and change FSU? Being a Gator and living with USF, I'm afraid. Barry Edwards, Keith McCants, hear it now. We'll be back next Monday at 1 o'clock. Good day. Good news.